Hello and welcome back to Suspended Fanimation. I'm your host, Dennis Patholkis, and it's time for The Legend of Vox Machina, Season 2, Episodes 7, 8, and 9. Welcome, everybody. Let me take care of some business first, and we'll get down to it. If you like what you see here, like, share, and subscribe. And if you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library and pops it up here just for you. And if you like what you see there, please hit that subscribe button down below there. If you can't, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you feel lucky or you feel like gambling, you can hit that bell down below, and YouTube may or may not notify you when I come on live. Best thing to do is go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also, I have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages as well. All right, let's get started, shall we? Spoiler alert, I am going to spoil the episodes, all 3 episodes. If you have not watched them, go and watch them. Come on back. This will be a video. You can comment down below in the comment section. Give you enough time to hit pause, run away, whatever you need to do. All right. So, the episode titles for this week are The Fey Realm, Echo Tree, and A Test of Pride is what we're at here. So of course, where we left off last week was, um, man, I mean, it was just kind of in a big blur of things here. Um, so we had Kalith, of course, Kiki has done her spell. They're trying to get away from Umbrasol, yes, the dragon. And as Grog has also run through Pike with his sword, with the Craven's Edge. And as they transport away, Umbersol takes a swipe at him, hits Kiki, and they lose Grog, Scanlan, and Pike in this, going over to the Fey Realm. So part of the group goes to the Fey Realm, and we don't know what happens to the other part of it. So um, we see our group over in the Fey Realm, minus, of course, Grog, Scanlan, and Pike. And what ends up happening is they don't know what's going on. They of course have never been here. Percy thinks he knows where he's going because he's read books on the thing, supposedly, and they're basically walking around in circles. They do end up meeting a little guy by the name of Garmili, who is a satyr, and um, he's really no help. But he wants to help them, but Percy's like, no, we don't need your help. And of course, after some stumbles here and there, they accept his help. And of course, as they're going through, what do they come across? They come across the elven city of Singorn, which of course is where Vex and Vax are from, and that's where their dad is. So yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a homecoming reunion. And sure enough, he treats them like shit. He's had another kid with a different wife, and yeah, he's just a complete and total shit to them. And um, he finally does end up giving them passage. He ends up giving them paper so they can get through the city, because basically they need to get through the city in order to find the other vestige of divergence, which is Fenrir's bow. And yeah, it's on the other side of this bog. So they need to get through the city first so they can get to the bog. I mean, it's a campaign. You're looking at a Dungeons and Dragons campaign is where you're at. So of course, we see Percy actually stand up for Vex against her father there. And we see kind of like the brewing of a little bit of a maybe something happening between Vex and Percy at this point. And Vax, of course, is still just all consumed by his vestige that he has on, because all he keeps seeing is himself dead, which is not a good thing. So, of course, they end up going through the bog. They get over to where the bow is supposed to be, and the only one that can get through this bog is Vex. She ends up being enthralled, uh, and of course, she finally snaps out of it and has to fight for the bow, and does end up doing this. She ends up using a gift from Percy, of course, to get to the heart of the matter, shall we say, and gets the bow. And one of the stipulations that her father said that, because he never wants to see them again unless they have the bow in hand, so that he can give them the proper greeting that they wanted. And when Percy's like, "Well, should we go back and see your father?" She's like, "No, we don't need to." We do find out what happens to Grog, Scanlan, and Pike. They are still back, in the main world there, and Pike is having to heal herself. And in the meantime, Grog is still under the influence of the Craven's Edge, and talking to it, and he's getting talked into killing, both Pike and Scanlan, and finally snaps out of it enough to where he snaps the sword, and as its revenge, it basically saps him of all his strength. It basically makes him a weakling, like we saw this happening. And which really sucks and means that Scanlan and Pike need to drag his ass around. Um, they end up, of course, going over to her great grandfather's house, Pike's great grandfather's house, and this is where we get a voice actor here, Henry Winkler, playing the great grandfather of Pike, and I'm blanking on his name all of a sudden. There we go. Wilhan Trickfoot. There we go. Wilhan Trickfoot. Oh, and by the way, I forgot. In the Fey realm, Vex and Kiki are tripping balls on one of the spores that comes out of there, and Trinket ends up talking to Vex, and it's Cheech Marin's voice, which I thought was pretty fucking funny. Because of course she's tripping balls, and Cheech being the voice of Trinket. So yeah, Henry Winkler is doing a voice over here, a guest voice hand of Wilhelm, and we start finding out about Grog's backstory and how um, they're in Westrun, uh, and or outside of Westrun, I should say, and that is where they end up going to see what the hell's going on. After, of course, um, the Trickfoots actually try and give Grog a remedy to his problem by shoving a big ass pill up his ass. Scanlan, of course, does the honors of that one, and of course, it's not working. He's still skinny. He's still weak in all of this, and of course, he's being told that as long as if he can jolt his muscles into he might all start growing again. Wilhelm tells him, you need to have a little bit of a jolt to your system to start growing your muscles again, and that's what'll happen. And instead, they end up going over to West Run to go and help people, and Scanlan goes in um, to scout around at this point, and we end up getting the story from Grog as to um who are there, the people that are there. The people that are there are his people. It's actually his uncle, um Kevdak, and Kevdak is wearing another vestige of divergence called the Titanstone Knuckles. Sorry, I'm looking at my notes there. And so obviously this is where another one of the vestiges of divergence is. It's the Titanstone Knuckles that they need to get. Only thing is that Kevdak is working with Umbrasol. He's working with the dragons basically, and a lot of the other clan, or the herd as they're called, are not agreeing with Kevdak and working with the dragons. They want to do their own thing. They want to be their own people. They want to kill the dragons, is what they want to do, and just take over everything. Kevdak's like, fuck that. The dragons are going to give us Westrun. We have that, as long as we just give them what they want. Uh, so yeah, we get the whole backstory for Grog, that, how he met, you know, Pike, and how, Wilhend as well. and basically he saved Wilhelm's life. At one point, he was just like Kevdak. He was going out and marauding, killing people, all this stuff, until he met Wilhelm, and then he stopped and he saves Wilhelm's life. And as a result, Kevdak beats the fuck out of him. Yeah, and we see that Grog was actually a bit smarter before all. He got his head caved in, and of course, Pike had to heal him and didn't heal him exactly 100%. And as Grog said, he said his uncle killed him once before, you know, uh, and pretty much that's what he did because Pike did bring him back to life. One thing I kept noticing is that Pike keeps calling him buddies, is what she calls Grog. She calls him buddies, in the plural sense, not buddy, but buddies. And I don't know what that's about, why she keeps calling him in the plural. She goes, "Come on, buddies. You're my best buddies." And I don't know. I haven't seen this explained as of yet, but I don't know if there's something more to this that we're going to get later on. But that was one of the things that I felt kind of weird about this. I always watch it with the subtitles on, so everything I watch usually have the subtitles on. So yeah, it was just kind of it was enough in there where I was just like, why does she keep calling him buddies? And it was just kind of weirding me out there. So Scanlan changes into a dragonfly, flies into Westruun to see what's going on, meets up with some survivors that are basically hiding out from the herd, and trying to get him to they basically shame him into helping them out and getting them out of there. He meets another gnome like himself, and she's also part of a band as well. And he decides to try and get them out at this point. And they end up getting them out, and before the herd can find them, of course. And as they're getting this group out and they run back into Pike and Grog, Grog's like, "I'm not leaving. I'm going to face my uncle. I need to face my uncle," is what he says. And so, the very end of the episode, we have him facing Kevdak. He's calling him out. After Kevdak, of course, has taken his own son, thrown him over the parapet, and said, "You know what? You fuckers are trying to take over the herd. You failed. Get out of here," is what he's saying. And does anyone else, have the balls to challenge me? And that's when Grog, steps up and says, yells out his name. He goes, "You remember me," kind of thing. And that's where we kind of leave off. So the last three episodes here that we're going to have, 10, 11, and 12, should be pretty badass here. Cause I mean, we're going to get the last of the vestiges. We're of course going to have to fight the dragons at this point, the conclave, and save the world, right? That's where we're at right here. So that's where we're at in this. It's a great series. This is actually a really fun series. And again, you're getting all these, backstories put in. I'm liking all these backstories. I like that, you're also doing all these different worlds as well. And putting this all into the story, the main story. You're still traveling along and uh doing all this. And again, like I said before, I've said in previous podcasts of this, this is what you want to do as a good DM, good dungeon master, um as a good screenwriter, all of this stuff. This is where you want to excel, is moving the story along, but at the same time building on it, building on the world, building on what's happening, making a tangible story, making it with some depth to it, Raymond says, "I think the writing had gotten better compared to previous seasons." Yeah, they're finding their footing. I think the influx of money probably didn't hurt either, so they were able to bring more people in. So Raymond says, like a gay joke or something. No, I don't think that's what Buddies was about. No, so I don't know. I don't know what the Buddies thing is. But yeah, they are getting a better influx of writers. More people, of course, there more money, so that of course is going to up your game on all of this. And of course, we know that there's a season 3 coming because they were greenlit for seasons 2 and 3. Um, we'll see. I mean, I'm most likely they're going to get 4, 5, 6. If they just keep going this way. This is a really good series. It's a great animated series. It's also violent as hell too. I mean, it's got blood. It's got all kinds of stuff going on there. It's got the humor in there as well. It's got love stories in there, or at least romantic uh, entanglements, if you will, that kind of stuff. And it's also got the toilet humor as well. So I mean, it's got everything in it. I kind of dig this. This is where this is what I want out of a show, and I'm happy with it. So looking forward to next week, and of course that's the season finale is next week, and so we'll be there when we get there. Sorry, I'm looking at the dog. She's looking at the door there, and she's not getting out at the moment. But anyway, so what else do I have going on for the rest of this week? Well, I was going to do Saturday morning blast off tomorrow, but I've actually got something going on tomorrow. So it's going to be Sunday. So a Sunday edition of Saturday morning blast off, where I take the genre news of the week, any genre stuff you guys want to talk about. We talk about it. I don't have it on the calendar at the moment on the schedule, but I'll announce it, shortly. Monday will be The Last of Us. Tuesday will be another episode of Is It Worth My Time? It's going to be Lockwood and Company from Netflix. Wednesday will be The Bad Batch. Thursday I'm going to be off, and then Friday we have the season finale of The Legend of Vox Machina. There we go. Mork says started extraordinary, prefer Vox Machina a lot more. Okay. Yeah. Yes, Vox is crazy. It really is. So I can never tell with you, Mark. So there you have it. All righty. So with that said, I'm gonna let you guys go for the rest of the night. Thank you to everybody joining me tonight in the chat, and thank you if you made it this far through the video. And if you're still on the fence about subscribing, take a look at the video that pops up at the very end here. YouTube takes the algorithms of all the stuff you've been watching and tries to match it as best as possible to one of the videos in my vast video library, and pops up here just for you. And if you like what you see here, hit that subscribe button down below there. And if you can, hit that like button, the share button as well. And if you want to know when are we going live again next, go over to suspendedfanimation.com. Take a look at the schedule I have up there. I change it every week. Also have all the links to my social media there and all the links to my pages. All righty. So with that said, I'm going to let you guys go for the night. Thank you, everyone. I will see you on Sunday. Sorry, the dog was making me laugh there for a second. She just did some weird shit, and it made me kind of, I had to stop for a second, see what she's doing. Anyway, I will see you guys again on Sunday. Until then, thanks, Raymond. Thanks, Morks. I will see you guys again on Sunday. Have a good rest of your night. Stay safe, be well, take care, wear those masks, get those vaccine shots, get the booster shots. So it doesn't worry about the booster shots. And don't let the door hit your ass on the way out. Otherwise, you may be on the run from, some gigantic dragon that spits acid, and you're really just looking for some vestige of divergence, and you run into the herd, and there's a whole bunch of backstory to it. They're your uncle, and maybe it's your sister and your mother, and I don't know. It's just all kinds of convoluted at this point. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you again on Sunday. Stay safe, be well, take care, and have a good rest of your night there. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night. Good night.